negative 2. If I had you come up here and graph 0, negative 2, do you know where that would land? Because it wouldn't land in a quadrant. It would land right here, right? Here's 0, negative 2. And I say this should be quick. What's this degree measure here? Where did I just graph this point? At what degree measure?
270.
At 270, right? 90, 180. This is at 270. When it's on the line like this, there's no right triangle you can make. Okay, does everyone see why it's 270? I could put it anywhere on here and it's going to be 270 degrees. So now it says find the cosine and sine value. There's not much really I need to tell you. What's my angle again? What's my angle? Okay, sine of 270, cosine 270. Where can you go to find those values pretty quickly? Right to your calculator. Okay, just make sure you're in degree mode. So when it is on the line, I don't expect you can't draw a right triangle, but you know the degree measure pretty quickly where it lands. So what am I looking at here? Sine is negative 1 and cosine is positive 1. 0, sorry, 0. Yeah, that's my fault. 0. Okay, good, Harper. Okay, if that point lands on the line, then it just becomes whatever degree measure that is. It doesn't matter how far up or down it is. Okay. Anything from the assignment last night? Because I'm not going to pick one and do it because I got to move on. But if you guys have a legitimate question, all right, you're going to one of the questions, because like I said, I just redid the test. So you can't use your NumWorks calculator as much, is something like the last couple questions there where I give you, like the sine is 4/5, I'm in quadrant 2, find cosine and the angle. Okay, we did those yesterday. Actually, I'm just going to give in and actually do one. I don't know why, but okay, I'm going to do the last part here, part B, where it says cosine theta equals negative 15 over 17, and I'm in quad 3. And we need to find the sine value and the degree value, okay? So again, sometimes you might be given some information about what quadrant you're in. Sometimes I may just give you like a point to graph. That'll tell you what quadrant we're in, right? So I know I'm in quad 3. All right, so I'm in quadrant 3. We remember how to do our triangle in quadrant 3. And if you don't remember, what can I always draw? A little bow tie, right? So here's my triangle in quadrant 3. You should always be able to label 2 of the sides. Always label. I should give you enough, whether it's a point or in this case cosine, to label 2 of the sides. What do you know about cosine? There's 2 things that should come to mind when you hear the word cosine. X coordinate on the unit circle, which we're not, or SOHCAHTOA, which would be what for cosine? Adjacent over hypotenuse, right? So here is my angle I go by. Where do I throw the 15 on? Where do I throw the 15? Top, right? Adjacent. And look where it is. Where should I label it? Negative 15. And then where's the 17 going? And we talked yesterday, hypotenuse never negative. It's the other 2 sides that could be. What's up, yeah?
How do you know what angle you didn't go?
It's always from the reference angle.
Okay.
Okay, closest to the origin. Always. Yep, always from the reference angle. Okay, it's asking me to find the sine now. What do you know about sine? I know it's the y coordinate, but that's not, can't use that here. Opposite over hypotenuse, but look at your diagram. What do you notice about the opposite side? It's missing, but you can find it using. How can I find that missing side? Pythagorean theorem. Negative 15, make sure it's in parentheses, squared, plus b squared equals 17 squared. I need that missing side so I can do sine. And just to quicken this up, you do your algebra, move things over. B squared ends up being 64, so b equals 8. What do you want to tell me about that 8? You're gonna forget about it every time. Negative, right? Just look where it's going. All right, so what's the value of sine here? Opposite over. And what quadrant am I in again? 3. So what do you know about sine in quadrant 3? Positive or negative? So that's why my answer should be negative. We got to start paying more attention to what quadrant I'm in, because that'll determine if my answer is positive or negative at the end. And then the other question is, hey, what's the value of theta now? How do I find what angle this is in the third quadrant? What do I do from yesterday? I want to know what, I know my answer's got to be between 180 and 270, but how do I get to it? Use the information you have here. Come on now, you're killing me here, guys. How do I figure out what angle I'm going from?
Can you just type it in on the number?
What do you mean type it in?
Type in sine or cosine.
Or either one, right? You pick one to begin with. You pick one, right? You pick one. Let's pick cosine. Cosine theta equals negative 15 over 17. I go to my numworks calculator. I go to equation. And now I'm in radians, and I got to change that. Okay, we're good. Okay, go back over to my calculation, my equations. And what did I pick? Cosine, right? So cosine x, because I don't have a theta here. Maybe I do, but I don't know where it is. Equals, what was our fraction again? Negative 15 over 17. Enter. It's going to ask me for an interval. What interval do I want here? I'm in the third quadrant. 180 to 270. There it is, 208. All right, so that was a big part. It's going to be a big part today because we're going to talk about something else. Any questions there before I move on to today's notes? All right, I'm not doing anything different today other than I'm going to finally, all we've been talking about is sine, cosine, sine, cosine. It's time to give tangent some love now. All right, we're going to start talking about tangent. Everything we've done with sine and cosine, we'll do with tangent. Okay, SOHCAHTOA, tangent's opposite over adjacent. All good? I think we're pretty solid there. Opposite over edge, opposite over adjacent. All right, now a couple new ones I need you to be aware of. Tangent's also equal to sine over cosine. Okay, sine value over the cosine value. That is tangent. Again, sine over cosine. And you're going to write in a third one for me. Let's pretend we're on the unit circle now. I run out of coordinates, right? Because y is already for sine, x is already for cosine. What's left over for tangent, right? Well, go back to this one here. What's sine? What's the coordinate for sine again? So it's going to be your y coordinate over your x coordinate, okay, for tangent. Because it's sine over cosine, so I take the y and put it over the x. That's going to be tangent. All right, help me fill in this chart. Tell me if sine, cosine, tangent, positive or negative, depending on the quadrant. Ready? If you want to put up, I'll put it up too. I should be. That's a good role model for teaching there, right? A, what's in the second quadrant? All students, est, take classes. Anybody come up with a better one yet? No? Okay. What do you know in quadrant 1? This is just a little review here. What do we know in quadrant 1? Actually, you know what? Here we go. I got to get to a better job of this. Using my numbers here. Let's roll. Okay. Yeah. Back again. What do you know is positive in quadrant 1? Let's do this. 5 spot. Emma, what's positive in quadrant 1?
Both of them.
Everything, right?
Yeah.
Including tangent now. Everything is always positive in quadrant 1. What's positive in quadrant 2 now? What's positive in quadrant 2? Let's see, anybody new? One, Isabel, what's positive in quadrant 2?
I know that sine is positive.
Correct. And that's it. Meaning everything else is negative. Sine is the only thing positive in quadrant 2. Everything else negative. What's positive in quadrant 3 here? Let's keep it going. There we go. Sorry. Ethan, what's positive in quadrant 3? Tangent. So tangent's positive. Everything else negative. And what about fourth quadrant? That was a good one. Way to go. Grant, what's positive in the fourth?
Cosine.
Cosine. Everything else, guys, is negative. Okay. Know what quadrant you're in. All right, let's do the same thing we did yesterday, but now I'm going to add tangent into the mix. Go ahead, read through part A. All right, what quadrant am I in? What quad are we in? You're right. It's my fault. Grant, what quadrant are we in? Quad 2, everybody. All right, so everyone set up your XY axes so I can get a little diagram. I'm in the terminal side goes through quad 2, so what's that triangle going to look like? Go ahead, try to draw it. What's your triangle going to look like in quad 2? Let's try to draw it. Draw a bow tie off to the side if you forget. Again, I draw a bow tie. That'll show me each quadrant what my triangle should be. Always, I will give you enough information to label 2 out of the 3 sides. Always. You just got to know where to find it and where to put it. Okay, sine's equal to 5/13. Spit out anything you know about sine we've learned this year. Anything you know about sine that we've learned. Spit out anything you've learned from sine. Gabby?
Opposite over hypotenuse.
Opposite over hypotenuse. So I should be putting that 5 and 13 somewhere on my triangle. Remember, you go from the reference angle right here, closest to the origin. Describe to me where the 5 and 13 should go then. 1, Max, where should the 5 and 13 go?
The 5 is opposite.
Yeah, I got you. And the 13?
The 13 is on the hypotenuse.
Yeah, we better know where those are. And let's just cut to the chase. You know you're going to need that missing side. I'm not going to wait till I need it. You're going to need that missing side. How do you find that missing side? Oh, by the way, Max, can I ask a follow-up? Should that 5 stay positive or should I change it to negative? Look where it is.
I thought it would stay positive.
It would stay positive, correct, because we're going up here. Hypotenuse, never negative. Good. All right. What do I need to find that missing side here? Harper, how do I find the missing side? Okay, can you set it up for me?
Yeah. 5 squared.
Good.
Plus x squared.
Yep, whatever you want there equals.
13 squared.
Good job. All right, I'll go ahead and solve it. I'll ask somebody for that side here in a second. And remember, you can go, I don't know why you would. You guys can handle this, do it by hand, but I guess you could go to the equation solver on NumWorks to solve this too, but I think you can handle it. Should be a whole number 2. No radicals here. When you have that value of that side, let me know. Stella, when you're ready.
12.
12, good job. So that side is 12. Stella, follow up. Should I keep it positive or change it to negative? Yeah, darn right. All right, now we can actually answer the questions. Okay, we had to build this triangle, make sure we knew all 3 sides. Here we go. Part A, What is the cosine of theta here? Cosine. What do you know about cosine? Tell me anything. Spit anything out. What do you know about cosine? 5. Emma, what do you know about cosine?
Cosine is the x coordinate.
It is, but I have no coordinates here, right? And I'm not on the unit circle. So what else do you know about cosine? There's two things. It's the x coordinate, and as far as SOHCAHTOA goes,
It's adjacent over
okay.
hypotenuse.
What's the adjacent side up here?
The adjacent side is 13. No, it's 12. Negative 12.
Negative 12, and the hypotenuse?
13.
13. Somebody else, why does it make sense that this answer is negative? Why does this make sense that my answer is negative? Ah! Yep, Grant, why does that make sense that the answer is negative?
You're in quad 2 and the x is negative.
Darn right, cosine's negative there. All comes together, kids. All right, and now the new, not new, but the one for today now. Now find tangent. Okay, spit something out at me. What do you know about tangent? What comes to mind with tangent? Richie? Okay, opposite over adjacent. Got those values for me? Yeah, let's go. Why is that? Why does that also make sense that my answer is negative here, Richie? And what did we just find? Tangent, right? The only thing positive is sine. Everyone all right with part A? Part B, what is the angle now to the nearest degree? What is theta? Remember, we're in quad 2 when we do this. We are in quadrant 2 when I find the angle. All right, somebody's going to make a class decision for us. Paige, ready? You can use three values. You can use the sine value, the cosine, or the tangent to plug into our calculator. What do you want to use? It won't matter which ones, but sine. Okay, so everyone ready? Sine theta equals 5 over 13. We go to the solver. And the only last question I'm going to have from somebody is when it asks you for the interval that you want your answer in, what interval are you going to tell your calculator you want that angle in? Ooh, 1-4, Isabel. What interval do I want it in when it asks?
Negative 1 and 1.
Oh. What quadrant am I in?
The second.
Okay. So my angle has to be between?
Wait. How does 1?
Okay, ready? My calculate, ready? Here you go. Let's go to the NumWorks calculator here together. I go back, clear that out. So now I'm going to go sine x equals 5 over 13. Now what I want to know is what do I have to put in there? Again, what quadrant am I in? What do you know about all the angles in the second quadrant? They go from what to what? Remember, that's 0, right? That's 270.
90 to 180.
You see what I mean? That's what I'm asking for. My answer has to, so I need to tell the calculator that you need to go from 90 to 180. Okay? So everyone's got 90 to 180 there? 90 to 180. Let's solve this beast. And 150, what is it? Degree or tenth of a degree? Degree. All right, so theta equals 157 degrees. Right, that's where I need you to be in the class right now, is being able to do a problem like this. That's not on the unit circle. Any questions from you guys before we move on to some other different ones? Are we solid on these type? This is where I need you to be in the class. Anything else is kind of icing on the cake. All right, I can't waste my time here. All right, you guys have let's tangent of 45. Let's go. Tangent of 45.
Radical 2.
It should be, well, I don't know about radical
I
2.
don't know why I was saying that.
Yeah, I don't know either. And again, remember, it does, I need fractions. I don't want decimals, even though tangent of 45 will tell you it's what? 1, right? Tangent of 45 is equal to 1. Typed it in our calculator. Yeah. Tangent of 150. No decimals. And guys, and you guys are wondering where these numbers are coming from. I'm just going to my numberworks calculator and typing tangent 150. I'm not even going to fight it and discuss how we get there. What's that one? That's going to be 30. Oh boy, radical 3 over 3. Oh, yeah, I should have known that. Why should I have known my answer was going to be negative? What's where's 150? Quad 2. Should have known that was going to be one jab. Ooh, 180. That's not in a quad. That's on the line, but tangent of 180, 0. Yeah. Are we good here? I don't want you guys to get these wrong. It's something as simple as just type it into your calculator. All right, a couple more, and then we will have time to practice today. All right, so my angle is 90 degrees here. All right, or pi over 2 radians, whichever. So tell me the sine and cosine values now. So sine of 90, cosine 90. Sine's what, 0? Sine of 90, 0?
1.
Oh, it's 1? Yeah, it is. It is. Kind of mixed up. Cosine of 90, when you type it in, should be 0. All right, now everyone go ahead. I'll do it with you. We're going to have an explosion here. Calculate the tangent of 90. What's it tell you? Look at these calculators too. Doesn't even come up with an error anymore. Literally tells you what? Undefined. Can we just have a quick discussion other than our calculator told me why it comes out to be undefined? Tell me what you know about tangent again. I get it, opposite over adjacent, but there's no right triangle here. What else did we write down today? It's, watch your mouth, y over x, or it's what? Sine over cosine, right? All right, go back and look at our values here. What was the value of sine of 90? 1 divided by, what was the cosine? You've been in math long enough to know what? Can't divide by 0. So that's why your calculator's giving you an undefined, because you have 0 in the denominator. Okay? So can you guys go through in this next exercise these 4 and figure out which one's going to give you a tangent value that's undefined? You can just use your calculator. I just wanted to show you why it was coming up undefined for 90. So go through those values for me right now. Find the tangent one that's going to be undefined again.
No, you need to change your interval from 270 to 360.
And what do you got? 270. All right. We didn't have the opportunity yesterday, but now we have half the class to work, and I need you to work here and call me over if there's any issues. All right, because you're going to get a variety of questions here to see if you know what the heck's going on. All right, so let's get going with that. Yep.